This is not a studio reveal, nor an apartment tour. This is just me sitting on the floor of my new apartment because my life decided to do a hard pivot. And you know, if you run a small business and your life takes a hard turn, you kind of unwillingly have to pause your business. And that sucks. Hi, my name is Amanda and I am the owner behind the art business StickCatsStickers. I want to start this video by saying that this is not a where I've been the last couple of months and this is I quit. That's not that kind of video. It's more of a reflection of what has happened the last couple of months and where I've been, and a little update on my living situation, basically. So let's just get straight into it. So basically, I had this huge problem a couple of months ago. I was living in this apartment for about 1 year, and then suddenly my lease got expired, just like that. And I did not have a plan for anything. So the thing is, I had to be out ASAP. I had like 4 weeks to get out of that apartment. So I had to move fast. Like super fast. So this all happened like 5 months ago in November. It is April now. So last November it was the middle of con season. It was Comic-Con and DreamHack and all these other big like conventions and markets and stuff like that. So I had a lot of stuff going on, had markets and conventions to prep for and to apply for, and I was producing a lot of stuff as well. And my business was really flourishing, in my opinion. But I had to pack up my entire life and my business into boxes the moment I got notified that I had to move. Now here's the part where it got super tricky. Alright, so I live in the capital city of Sweden, in Stockholm. And the queue to get an apartment in the city for a pretty good area, I would say, is about 10 years. That's a long time, alright? But luckily, I have 11 years in the queue. So I was feeling confident and I was feeling like, yeah, totally, I will find something within these 4 weeks. No worries at all. It was a lot of worries, actually. But anyhow, I applied for some apartments in like a couple of areas that I really was thinking, yeah, I could totally move to this area of this town. And about 1 week after I got notified that I had to move, I found an apartment. Yay, happy times! So I sent in all the paperwork and all the documents that I had to the landlord, and I was feeling super confident. But the happy times did not last that long. I got declined because I do not have a stable income with a permanent position at a regular 9-to-5 job. Because I do this art business, I do StickCatsStickers, like basically full-time almost. And the landlord and the queue did not approve of my income from my art business. Fucking bullshit. So I had to go back on my own jobs, working as a substitute teacher and as a waitress to be able to gain some income so that I could get approved for an apartment like the next month. Since the clock was ticking and you get paid the month after you start working again, and pretty soon 4 weeks were up and I was like, oh, am I gonna be homeless? What the heck am I supposed to do now? I'm gonna be living out on the streets or crashing at a friend's like couch or something. So I did the one thing I really didn't want to do, but I had to do it. I was phoning my dad and asked if I could move back home. And luckily it all worked out. My dad went on to live with his girlfriend while I was staying in his apartment. Now mind you, his apartment is like 25 square meters big and pretty cramped, pretty small. All of his stuff was there, and I had to keep all of my stuff in boxes in a storage room. So yeah, really no space for my stuff at all in his apartment. And when I say stuff, I only had like some clothes and some toiletries and stuff like that, my iPad. But when I say stuff, my entire life and my business, it had to stay in boxes. So that means no paper, no machines, no silhouette, no printer, no studio lights, no camera, no inventory. And like for the first time since I started this business 2 years ago, I had to do the one thing I really didn't want to do, what small business owners do not want to do. I had to press pause. And I guess this part kind of messed with my head a bit more than I would like to admit, because like it's kind of like this, all right? When you do your own thing, it's not really just work and it's not really just a hobby for you. It kind of, like when you have a small business, it kind of forms into your identity and in a routine as well. And because StickCatsStickers is such a huge part of me, and it's a dream I had ever since I was a kid to have to be an artist, and closing a door to your dream is really one of the most awful things you can do. So I stayed at my dad's place for about 2 to 3 months, and I wasn't producing or packing or planning or doing admin stuff. I was just working a boring 9-to-5 job. So I was working pretty much like all the time, it felt like. I was just waiting to get accepted for my dream apartment. So yeah, I could not physically run my business without my own space and my own stuff. And pretending otherwise, and if I were to try to do that, I guess I would just have been more burnt out than I already was for working at these jobs. I mean, it's difficult working a full-time job and to have your spare time to work on your business. It's so easily to get burnt out doing that. And that's not something I want to do. I mean, sure, I did some posts on Instagram to just try and keep up with the, yeah, I'm still alive and I still have my business. Please do not forget about me. And I got some orders during Christmas as well. But man, it was so difficult to go through all my boxes and like, where the heck did I put all of my inventory and all my stock? And it was just such pure chaos trying to do this thing. And yeah, I was feeling that I was losing momentum and that people were gonna forget about me. But I keep telling myself that it's alright to pause. And that sometimes life gets in the way and there's really no other option for you to do than to press pause. Even if it is your dream and something you built and worked towards for a very long time, sometimes life just happens and you have to take care of yourself. That's the #1 priority. And no amount of discipline or I'm gonna push through this is gonna fix the fact that I literally don't have any space to work in. And now here we are. I finally got my apartment. And here's the neat thing, my business didn't die. It's just, I gave it space and time for it to rest. So fast forward like 2 or 3 months, I worked really super duper hard. The thing is with this queue, the landlord stuff, they wanted like 3 salary specifications that shows that I can pay my rent. So I had to work for 3 months full time to prove that. And what do you know? Suddenly I have my own apartment. And it's so nice. It's so nice and airy, and it's kind of cramped, not gonna lie. Quite small, but the rent is pretty good, quite cheap actually. And I always have natural lighting coming into this beautiful room, and it's pretty good. Me and my cats, we are really enjoying this, and it's extra special because this is my own apartment. I do not rent it. I do not rent it from a private person. I'm not sharing with anyone except for my cats. I don't have to move if I don't want to. That's the feeling. And I'm super excited for all the good stuff that I'm gonna produce in my little studio. Yeah, so to sum it all up, you know, when you're scrolling YouTube, there are so many videos on how you are gonna start your own business, videos about motivation and inspiration and yada yada yada, but not a lot of videos about what happens when you have to put your business into hiatus or when you have to press pause on your business because stuff happens. So this is that video. So this is why I have been gone from my business and social media. And I think from here on out, what the plans are for the future, I'm just gonna, you know, take you guys along with me to start up my business again. And I'm really excited to get the momentum and my business to start flowing again. And summer is just right around the corner. I have a lot of markets and conventions I'm gonna attend. I have one. I'm actually going to another country for that. And I'm super excited. It's in June, it's in Norway, so I'm super excited. And yeah, with that said, StickCatsStickers isn't gone. It just has been on a pause.